Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Stock and this video is for entertainment purposes only. Today we're talking about ALPP, SOFI, Draftkings. We're going to check out all three of them and see exactly what's going on with each one. It's a fairly exciting time in the market and I think each of them have, a lot of interest coming up ahead of them, and that's exactly why I want to talk about them. So stick around and let's get ready to rock. Welcome back. For those of you who are interested, down in the description you'll find a link to my Patreon. If you click that link and head on over there, what you will find is access to my weekly newsletter, my weekly watch list of stocks, my dividend portfolio, my growth portfolio, which has been on a tear recently, and thank goodness, oh my gosh golly, that's really fun to watch that thing go, especially on days like today. And then finally the crypto portfolio, which has also been on a tear recently as well, along with the crypto bull run that we have. So that's all pretty exciting. Also, while you're over there, you get access to my private Discord. I have positive, passionate investors over there who are just looking for different ways to share information and also to increase their financial status and really push on towards financial freedom. So if that sounds like something that you are interested in, we would absolutely love to have you over there. So go on, check out that link for the Patreon. Also, while you're down in the description, look for the links to Moomoo and Webull. If you sign up and deposit money into those, you'll get free stocks, and I get free stocks for the referral, so it's free returns. It's a win-win for both of us. Also, if you wouldn't mind hitting that like button. I tell people to cover up their eyes like this. That's kind of cheating. Cover up your eyes like this, smash around until you find that like button, subscribe button, and ring that notification bell to see any time that my videos come out. With that said, let's move on to the stocks. Alright, so this chart right now, I know it's a little bit small on your screens, but what we're looking at is the chart for Alpine Technologies. ALPP is the ticker symbol, and you can see the sort of run that they had when the news really took off about them. They acquired Value, among other acquisitions that they have, and the amount of rampant growth that could be seen with a company like this coming out of the OTC markets. And as a matter of fact, when I say coming out of the OTC markets, that's exactly what it's doing on the October the 20th. So that's Wednesday of this week. It joins the NASDAQ in the uplist. So what we can see with this hype back here is that news of applying to be added to the NASDAQ, and then finally, over here we started, and this is the very end of the chart, we had that speculation that the NASDAQ uplist was incoming, and then we found out last week that they were actually going to be added to the NASDAQ as of October the 20th. So we see a little bit more of that price action. So let me zoom back out because there's a little bit more that we need to see from this daily chart that we're looking at. So this price action that we had all the way back here, back in December into January, capping at around just under $5 per share. That's exactly where we were hitting resistance before, and then today with that week coming up with that uplist to the NASDAQ, we finally popped up. I mean, this looks, you could build a table on this thing, set your food on it, set your drink on it, nothing's going to slide off, nothing's going to spill. That's just how neatly we've bumped up against resistance here. If we are able to push up above that resistance, then we have a lot of room to run from here at about $5.50 all the way up over $9 per share. That's if that momentum keeps up. If we have enough buying interest and enough buying pressure with that uplist coming into the NASDAQ, we could see incredible price action to the upside coming out of ALPP, and there's a lot of people that believe that that is to be the case, and so that's why we see this run up that we do. We had a bit of a run up, 43% that first day, and just incredible price action, taking us up to almost to $4 per share, so almost 2xing. As a matter of fact, now we're closer to 2.5 times the price that it was before it started moving. So we had a bit of a sell-off, and then we had the news of the uplist come in, and then that really took us off from there. So for me, how am I playing this one? Well, first I have a long-term position, and then I also have a swing position. I did sell half of my swing position as it doubled because that met my price target. That also took my swing position risk down to 0. So the other half that I hold on to at this point in time, anywhere that this thing goes, up or down, is pure profit for me. I believe with the buying pressure that we get upon joining the NASDAQ, that we could see some more positive price action from where we're at, and it could take us up anywhere $6, $7, $8, $9, depending on really how much hype we get that day. I think we'll have an overbought situation, and I think that it's going to come ripping back down on us, but it should still land higher than it was when we started this most recent run, and so maybe settling from around that $4 or $5 mark. We'll have to see as it goes forward. this is a growth company that just it needs its time to fill out and really break in those shoes, and it'd be really nice. Once it's listed on the NASDAQ, we should start to get a few price targets here and there from professional analysts that should tell us what they think that it's worth. So I think that this is definitely something to keep in mind. Another possibility that might happen is something that you should be aware of is as we bump up against resistance like we do, and with all the news and the hype coming with that uplist to the NASDAQ, it is possible that we get a sell the day before, which would be tomorrow. We could see a bit of a sell-off or a weakening in the price or a softening in the price, or even when it joins the NASDAQ, we might get an initial pop and it sells off. We could get a sell the news moment taking place for us with that uplist to the NASDAQ, where people take that money that they have currently invested in this, take those profits from where they're at, and they start dumping them back onto the market, which puts some downward pressure on the price, and then we see a little bit of weakness in the price action. If that does happen, I think it'll quickly recover to around where it's at right now. However, if it does pop up, if I'm wrong about that sell-off, and if instead it's that first thing that I think will happen, which I think is the more likely of the two, that we get more of a bullish pop off of the uplist to the NASDAQ, that we do get that buying pressure, I think that we could see significantly more upside than what we see right now. I don't know if we'll take all-time highs, but getting about halfway there from where we're at right now, I think would be a very comfortable thing if we get that pop upon the uplist to the NASDAQ that takes place on October the 20th, which is Wednesday of this week. So that's something that we're definitely going to have to watch out for, and it could be pretty exciting. So this is always a high-risk play with these growth companies, so if you're looking for big gains really quickly, there's also the possibility for big losses very quickly. So it's not all sunshine and rainbows. We also have to pay attention to that other side of it. So when you take these sort of risks, it's one that you need to protect yourself over, which is exactly why I took half my position, reduced my risk to zero, so that way if I'm right and it does go up, well, I can still enjoy more of those gains. If I'm wrong and it drops down, then anything that I sell it for that swing position is still going to be something that's a profit for me, so it still fills out in green for me instead of in red. So moving on from there, I want to talk about SoFi. So here we're looking at the chart for SoFi, and you can see SoFi with the volume really took off recently, pushing up over $20 per share, and it's been a while. Let me zoom out here so we can see this thing peaked at over $28 per share, had a significant sell-off, had a really nice rally, had a nice little formation come up, and then just failed to produce, and then there was a lot more price action weakness that came along with it, and then made a slow, steady climb for a while, and then recently made a nice jump here. I've had some excellent options plays that had really paid off because they were significantly out of the money, and then with a little bit of this good news and positivity from a place that I thought was oversold, brought in, well, some awesome multiples from where we were at. I know for one of the closer ones, one of the nearer term ones that I had for expiry for those option plays, they were call options that I purchased, and I believe it was the $17.50 strike price that I went for, and I think it was for October the 8th. Now, I'm not totally certain over that date, but I'm mostly certain that it was the $17.50 strike. I'd have to go through and look, and I do announce these buys and sells over at my Patreon. In the Discord is where I mentioned those. So with that, I remember that I made my first sale for part of that position. I think I actually managed my risk with my very first sale with those call options, that I closed my position on that call option, and that meant that all the other options, that option contracts that I held, that I purchased, as the holder, I was able to make multiples on that. I think by the time I sold the rest of it, I think I was at like 7 or 8x the price that I purchased it at. And more recently, especially with this price action that we have right now, I'm up 250% on the December call options that I purchased, and I bought them in anticipation of the banking charter. However, they are printing. They don't yet have any intrinsic value. It's all extrinsic time value that they have. However, if we get news of a banking charter, and that's exactly why I'm bringing this up, despite the run-up that we have now, there's so much anticipation here for that banking charter for SoFi that if it hits anytime soon with any sort of the price action that we have, I think that we could easily overtake these previous highs that we had here in the mid-20s, and possibly even start flirting with some of these new all-time highs. Just to pop off the news, I think is going to bring that strong price action, puts us in the mid to high 20s. So that would be something, if we see it any in the near term with the excitement that we have, it would just be absolutely incredible for SoFi moving forward, and I would love it because it would really mean that my call options that I purchased are printing, and then I would just close my position with those, and I think that I would enjoy the multiples that it's returned, as I enjoyed with the other call options that I purchased that paid out for SoFi. So I think that SoFi, with the banking charter news, with the momentum that it has going right now, we could see some real incredible things coming out of SoFi with the announcement of that banking charter, regardless of when it happens. The day that we get that news should be a very good day for them. If we get it sometime soon with all this most recent buying that we have, all this trading volume that we have, this could be incredible. So SoFi, I think it's absolutely one to pay attention to, and we had some analysts come out and say that it should be closer to the mid-20s, like more like $25 right now. That's still what... that's still 25% up, almost 25% up from where it's currently at from its closing price today. So I definitely think that's something to pay attention to for SoFi. Today's price action came from this partnership with Pagaya, I don't know, with SoFi to expand access to financial services and create opportunities for customers. So you can read about this in Pagaya, a proprietary artificial intelligence technology, enable fintechs, banks, and other loan providers to offer consumers more robust access to financial products outside the existing traditional credit models, and SoFi happening to be in that place. This could be something that really drives more consumers, more customers over to SoFi Technologies. So this is pretty awesome to see this come out, and you can see that it resulted very favorably in the market given today's price action, that it had gone up over 7%, more like 7.5% today from Friday's close. All right, here we're looking at Draftkings, and you can see from the most recent price action for Draftkings that we're sort of barcoding, sort of trading sideways. However, if we keep zooming out and looking at the overall trend that we have right now from its SPAC days, and then ever since we had the reverse merger over to becoming Draftkings, you can see the consistently higher lows that we have. We had this high taper off right here. We might be forming more of a big wedge pattern that's going on here, or a triangle pattern. That's something that really could turn out for us over time. So it started consolidating, started going flat, but look how it's holding that base of support right around 48, just under $48 per share, and it seems to be holding firm. I think when the momentum comes back to DraftKings, which by the way, I believe that Q4 is going to be an awesome quarter for DraftKings, even if it takes until the reporting of Q1 to say just how good Q4's results were. I think that it'll put some polish onto the 2021 trading year. So I think that this is one to absolutely keep an eye on, keep to watch. And as a matter of fact, if you're looking for opportunities to initiate a position or dollar cost average, for me, and I can only speak for myself, I would much rather do it at a time like this when it's establishing that base of support, that here, the more that support holds, the better confirmation we have. And this is one that I think is going to come back up quickly into the 50s, and then breaking over the 200-day and the 50-day that have gone flat for us. I think that these are ones that are going to quickly turn bullish again and start heading north in the very near future. Certainly by the end of 2021, I see that happening for DraftKings. There's more and more news coming out of DraftKings all the time. All right, so here's the news that we have. So Polygon and DraftKings entered into an agreement. So DraftKings signing up with Polygon in order to be one of the staking nodes and also to help out with the governance of Polygon. This is something that's going to be huge for the collectibles market, for DraftKings, for the DraftKings marketplace. And this is something that, just watching the way that this company innovates, that they are aggressive about going for market share, and that they're also aggressive at finding that next thing that's really going to give them a leg up on the competition and bring even more and more money into the company, and bring more of these top companies that we have, such as Polygon, bring them into the fold and stepping into the blockchain the way that they are with a scalability solution like we have with Polygon. This, I think, is a very strong move for them, and I really think that, I mean, maybe it merited a little bit more price action than we saw. For right now, I think that there's just not a lot of hype or not a lot of excitement about DraftKings. As a matter of fact, this is the time that I would like to be paying attention to it, because when we pay attention at times when it's taking off, then, well, we don't get necessarily the same amount of returns. We do want to see a break consolidation. Breaking up above 51 would be really strong. As a matter of fact, just even at this point, breaking into the 50s, I could put another line on here, but I have so many at the moment. Breaking into the 50s would be a very good sign for us moving forward as we break that psychological round number resist. I think that would be excellent for DraftKings. I still like the 12-month price targets that they have in the 70s. I believe that this should be up higher than it is right now, and I think that we're going to grow into its valuation over time. So I think that this is still an excellent growth stock with a lot of potential for it, and that we're going to see those higher prices into the 50s or even 60s by the end of 2021, or we could even see them in Q1 of 2022. So we're just going to have to keep our eyes out, see when that momentum comes back to DraftKings, but I think they are going to be real contenders over time in the online sports betting marketplace, and then also with the NFTs. I think that's a very strong move for them as well, while the NFT market's hot, and really drive and make a name for themselves with the NFT collectibles moving forward. So let me summarize. ALPP, I think that we have just almost a coin flip right here as to see what happens when it uplists in the NASDAQ. We still have tomorrow to see what happens to the price action and just to see if it's something that's going to be astronomical or we're going to have some profit taking. And then Wednesday, when it does hit the NASDAQ, is there going to be enough buying pressure from people who only have access through the major exchanges to really push up that price? And if so, how long are we going to be able to sustain those prices moving forward from here? It is a company I am bullish on. I do have a small position in it, but I also have a swing position in it in which I've already reduced my cost basis to 0 there, and anything else that I sit on at the moment is pure profit should I take advantage of that swing position, and I plan to, whether that's tomorrow, whether it hits the NASDAQ. I think we're going to get a big day either tomorrow or Wednesday, and wherever that happens to be at, I plan to exit my swing position, but I also still plan to hold on to the rest of my stocks, my shares, as part of my long-term holdings. I'll just use that other money as I free it up for other opportunities, and especially swing opportunities that come along. SoFi, I have a long-term position in SoFi as well, and then I also have some options out on SoFi, and those options are ones that are out in December is the expiration date, and they are call options. And with those call options, well, they've already started printing for me. I have not yet cashed in on them because there's enough time left over, and there might be enough excitement with that price action to put them closer to being in the money. I could sell them right now and make a profit. I'm holding on just a little bit longer yet to see. I was waiting for them to be at the money before I sold, and I think that we're going to get there within the near future, certainly before that 45-day timeline, before a lot of that time value really starts to erode away at the price much further. But those days are numbered for those positions. Either way, I expect it to do really well for us. Draftkings, I think Draftkings is going to do absolutely awesome for us. I think that we have some really good returns to look forward to from here, easily landing us below the analyst estimate, the 12-month analyst estimate of that's in the 70s, like $74 per share is the average analyst estimate right now for Draftkings. I think 25% up from these prices puts it around $64, $65 per share. I think that could be very reasonable as we watch the performance of Draftkings play out, whether that's the end of 2021 or we have to hear about the results of 2021. I think there's going to be a very bright Q4, and I think they're going to continue to take the steps that it takes to be dominating in such a competitive market like online sports betting. So thank you guys for watching this video. I hope that you really enjoyed everything that I have to say, or at least you appreciated the information that I have here. If so, go ahead and deliberately, eyes wide open, press that like button, subscribe button, and ring that notification bell to see anytime that my videos come out. If you'd like to hear more of what I have to say, click that link for the Patreon. Come over and be part of my community of investors. We'd absolutely love to have you over there. Moo and Weeble, click those links, sign up, deposit your money, get your free stocks, and thank you for the free stocks. And then finally, let me see, there's one more thing. Oh yeah, I'm Dr. Stock. Thanks for rocking with me. Now go get that money.